on the homepage of YouTube right now. Like, it's 2 camping carafes. Like,
stupid. It's the best one I could find.
no, it's amazing. And it's like a hard hat. You have to commit. And that feels like a thing that someone would have like invented in the 70s or 80s, that they were like, this is an incredible innovation.
There used to be a place in my neighborhood called Brimfield, and they used to have a lot of like vintage retro like camping gear. So
I remember that. They always had those like penfold blankets and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, very cool. I feel like you would have like found that gem at a place like that, because like everything was like,
you'd have been like, what was this? And they're like, they used to want to walk around and have hands-free coffee.
They would have hands-free coffee. They'd have 2 carafes bolted to their head at all times.
It was caused some neck problems, but it was worth it. Okay, we are live.
We are live. Let me go live everywhere else. We're live, people.
Here we are. All right.
Oh my God, the fans are clamoring. Okay, settle down. Settle down.
They're trying to get in the door.
They are.
It's fine.
Sorry, we're at max capacity. It's not us. It's the fire department.
Relax. We will be brainstorming about bread. Don't worry.
Lyndsay, don't spoil it. Jesus.
Well, usually it says it in the title.
It does. I know.
You know, the thing where they're like, you asked. Like, you know, like brands will be like, fine, we're releasing that new flavor because you guys asked so much. Like, we're like, fine.
You did not
we'll
ask.
Brainstorm pogo sticks. Everyone's been demanding and we will do it.
You asked us not to come back. And here we are.
You asked, why are they branding that?
Okay, here we go.
Thumbs up all the way up from Scott.
Great. Scott.
It's Scott, right?
What we do? Yeah.
Just making sure.
What we do without him?
Just making
We love him.
Sure.
Okay. Great. We're rocking and rolling.
Oh, rocking and rolling. Whoa.
2 angels descended from heaven to brand today. We kind of have like a similar.
Who's in the brand spotlight? It's very like trad wife of us. We're like,
it is.
It's oh my gosh, we did this 2 times ago for hot dog water.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one where we were wearing our zip ups?
It was hot dog water, I think.
Like,
and I was like, I should have unzipped it because I was feeling too claustrophobic in my.
So
my zip is like up to here.
It's a good omen. There's a really cute new coffee shop around the corner from me. And on my way to the dentist this morning, I got a cold brew, and they have like a cold case of like homemade stuff, like sweets and treats and stuff. And then little like potato salad, egg salad, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'll get that little egg salad for lunch, for better or worse. I know that's a polarizing snack, but listen.
Jesus.
So I get a cold brew.
I'm going to eat it in public transportation.
And so I could bring it on my flight. She was like chatting with me, and I was like, I promise I'm not eating this for breakfast. And she goes, hey, eggs are eggs. And I was like, yeah, but the mayo. And then she goes, mayo is eggs. And we both went, mayo is eggs. And we were like, why isn't anybody talking about this? And she was like, you can have it for breakfast for all I'm
I've never really thought about that.
How weird to be like, a cold brew and an egg salad, please. It's 8:30 a.m.
That's prime for egg. I mean, eggs on eggs.
Egg time. Yeah.
Wow. Egg time.
Something to think about.
Can you hear? What's it? Can you hear like a big fan noise in the back of mine? Or am I good? Okay. Everyone's turning, flipping switches.
Can you hear all of our fans in the background? I've got a standing of
fans. Can you hear that? Yeah, I meant my fans clapping. Could you hear clapping noises?
We just have small people coming.
Guys,
around being like,
stop!
Sorry about that. Can you hear that? Can you hear all those fans?
Can you hear?
I do have a fan going. Oh man, I thought I turned it off.
Can you hear all the paid protesters?
Stop branding. Bad ideas are ruining the planet. That is true. Not these though. Okay.
Well. Wow, we're back.
Welcome back to Can They Brand That?
1 week of not seeing each other, and I don't know what to do with ourselves. We're just a mess over here.
It's like no promises on what this is going to be like, because when you have a bunch of stuff built up, I was like, this is getting gross really fast, but we need a release. Hi, Laura. Sorry for saying release right when you logged on. Speaking of release, wait, let's welcome everybody. And then I have an update on last week's episode that I want to share. So hi, this is Can They Brand That? Where what was our new thing? Let's try it again. Fake branding.
Yeah, we create real branding for fake brands.
Yeah.
Leave it to me to get it right.
Oh, great. It's new. We basically give ourselves 20 minutes and we pick a brand the night before, the morning of, and sometimes it's fake, sometimes it's just really unpopular, sometimes it's something no one would dare to do, and we try to create a real brand identity for it live on the spot, quick fire, live stream with the help of our helpful, gorgeous, hilarious commenters. I'm Lyndsay. We're your hosts. I'm Lyndsay. That's Allie. And we are the founders of Semiserious Agency, the world's first humor branding agency.
Good job, Linz.
I got that part.
We actually picked this brand like 20 minutes ago. So
yeah. This is
fresh out of the oven. So
as fresh as an egg salad at 8 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Wakey, eggs and May.
Trademark that. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So speaking of commenters, speaking of last week, there's somebody new in town who has been commenting very funny things. Her handle, okay, Madeline, if you're here, if you're watching, she commented on our salmon sperm skincare that a name should be ejaculotion. And I just think really that deserves good. Some of the fans that are behind you to clap.
You guys hear that? Ejaculation. Oh, okay. They didn't hear that. Yeah. They were still clapping too loud. They couldn't hear the.
They were clapping at your save of our new tagline for the show.
They were
like, wow, Allie,
come in for the.
Won't she do it?
She's a hero. Branding hero.
Again.
That's really good. It's really silly.
That was great.
I was laughing when we discussed this episode like 20 minutes ago of what we were going to do, and just reflecting back on the last episode going, God, what an insane last episode we had to
truly
clip and put up and edit and nuts.
At least that's not the one we did live on our LinkedIn. Oh, that was just as bad. We did go live on that. You know, when our Fangasm, we went live.
Yeah, we were. Well, it was my episode though, so mine was like just it was like the setup,
the lead up.
Yeah, the lead up. It was all the tension building. Yours would have been a nightmare.
Nightmare.
Okay. Well, should we talk about what we're going to do today? Let's talk about today's challenge, today's branding challenge, which is, it's funny. We had talked about this idea a long time ago. And I think I was the one that was kind of pushing back because I have never called it this thing. And I think this is the universal term for it. So we're going to do bread butts or bread ends. And in my family, we called them the skudka. I don't know. So I never called it a bread end or a bread butt. I mean, I know what that is, obviously. So I was like, I don't know. Is a skudka a more universal term? Like in my head, that's what we called it, which is very weird. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what language origin it is. It was just something my grandma said all the time. So that was our term. So anyway, we're going to take this idea of like the ends of breads and like, could we actually turn that into a viable product, build a brand around that. And I guess
ends only.
Yeah. Ends only. And I guess the best comp, which is almost like the inverse comp, is muffin tops, which is like, that's the most desirable part of the muffin. And we're kind of taking the, I guess, universally disliked part of the bread. Although I have to admit, I like the ends of the bread.
When it's toasted though, not raw. You're not eating
I would raw dog it. I like
Scott is reminding us that heels is also a very common.
Heels.
But
yeah,
I think we wanted like, I think you say like the heel of bread. I don't feel like I say like a bread heel. So I think when we were trying to think of like a bread end, a bread butt, like, I don't know, bread heel. Like I hear it just saying like the heel. Oh no, all that's left is the heel. That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with Scott that is what I would probably say if I looked into a bag. Yeah, totally. It's only the heel left. Yeah, I like the heel. I've always liked crust of the bread. So I like kind of that denser, what is the flavor? Grainier? I don't know. Breadier?
Yeah. Seedier.
Seedier. Yeah. So, but yeah, what's your relationship with the heel of the bread?
Oh, I'd eat a sandwich made out of it. Yeah. I would toast for sure. It makes a really nice toast because it almost reminds me of an English muffin. You know, like that end of it and then the other part. And sturdier. You know, and then Yeah, if we're talking like a nice homemade sourdough loaf, there's no bad piece to that to me.
Agree.
But like a store-bought loaf, I have been known, if it's a really small one too, and I know it's curling, you know how in a toaster, then just the edges get toast. I have been known to throw away a heel. I'll admit it.
Thrown away a heel. Oh no, I've been known to just wedge it into the middle of the sandwich. I throw
a triple decker.
I would almost triple decker it, basically.
Wow. Okay, that's beautiful.
I guess some of us didn't grow up as privileged. You're throwing away bread heels over here. I'm digging crumbs out of the bag.
Your chip dust.
Oh yeah, you do save your chip dust. So
I've also
very trad.
I'm saving the planet you're saving the ends of, you're not wasting the end of bread, and I'm not wasting a single crumb of a chip. So by our powers combined, we're fine. The earth will be fine.
Heal the world.
Heal the world. HEEL.
Oh, that's
if we could prove that people are throwing away waste not want not, that's a funny, heal the world.
Hold on. I had one we can't get into it yet. I had one idea, and that weirdly works with it.
Well,
sort of. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Well,
okay, anyway, we'll get into it in a minute. But anything else we want to say? I guess if you're watching us on Instagram, it's a weird viewing experience. So you have to X out of the video and then click back in, and then you'll see us vertical, or you'll see us horizontal still, but you'll see the whole screen. If you been watching the show, we would love if you liked and subscribed. Obviously, that helps us, gain momentum. And we really appreciate you being here. If you want to check us out and learn a little bit more about what we do beyond Can They Brand That, we actually run an entire creative agency, and we build brands from scratch. And so you can check us out at semiseriousAgency.com. We are actually in the midst of a rebrand, so our new stuff is going to be super sick and cool, and I cannot wait until the new site is launched. TikTok, hopefully within the next couple months, by the time we get everything rocking and rolling. But yeah, you can see some of our work, and then that'll get updated pretty soon. Some of our newer projects, which are just awesome. I'm like tooting our own horn so hard, but they've been really fun lately. They have been really wacky and pretty wild, and some fun brands that we've been able to get at the inception and really build from the start. So it's been a delight. Anything else before we get into today's episode?
I don't think so. I think if you're watching on Instagram and commenting, we'll try to monitor it, but it doesn't feed through to our main system. So come over to YouTube and comment with everybody else. Other than that, the rules of the game, I guess, maybe the rules of the game are that we pick or make up a brand, and we do no prep and no strategy, and we set the clock for 20 minutes and we see how many crazy fun ideas we can come up with, because we are huge believers that fun sells and humor is humanizing, and that is sort of what can make or break your business, especially in this current climate. Consumers are very fatigued, and they are being inundated with sales messages. And so if you want to reach them, you got to give them something. Give them something to talk about. Make them smile. That is just a value add. So that's what we do for our clients. And that's what we up the ante here on the show by challenging ourselves even more. That's it. I think we should, you want to get the song ready, and I can give us
let me get the song ready.
Line.
Also, I don't know if anyone can see this. The little in the corner, we have a cute little logo, a funky little weird logo that we have created for the show. It's a little stopwatch with a, little hypnotized eyes, and
I thought he was a doll. Love him.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's set the timer and answer the question on everyone's mind. Can they brand that?
Just because they can doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
Ooh. Okay. Great.
All right.
Feel live.
Timer has begun. Do you want to launch off of your heel idea to see, since that's sort of like top of mind, bottom of bread?
Yeah. Okay. So it's it's the most half-baked idea, and I don't really know where to go with it. So this could help. So you said heal the world, or hold on. Who said heal the world? Did you say that?
You said heal the world, but you didn't realize that it could be.
Was a,
you were talking about something else.
Okay. So I just said it randomly, and then now it could work. So I don't actually know if this works with this idea, but I was thinking of the idea of like bad ends, good endings. Like I was kind of thinking that, and I was thinking it could be like almost like a literary motif. Like you could take it into kind of a storybook, fun branding in that direction. Or good ending almost felt like angelic or something to me, heavenly or something in that world. So when you said heal the world, I don't know why that made me think of like the angel motif and us dressed like angels. But I don't know. I thought there was something fun there. It was just a visualization we haven't played with before that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Then I kind of have another idea. But anyway, so that was just kind of one thing.
Good ending. And then a happy ending, a play on that would be happy ends. Like that's cute. Like these are happy ends because they sort of look like smiles. I'm at like the curved part of the thing. For a brand name for the whole thing, the visual of him doing this, and it's just called happy ends. And it's like bread butts only, or bread ends, happy ends.
Yeah, that's like there's a lot of I love the idea of taking the end of the bread and like turning that into the smiley face. Like I think there's something really cool visually there.
It's a fun name too, happy ends.
Happy ends.
Because you're like waiting for it to be something else, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, then there's something funny like breadier than the rest, or extra breadier. Like there's something fun kind of
that feels like it'd be a little
silly language
stamp on the front of like 100% more bread than a loaf, or like, you know what I mean? Like there'd be something,
the loafiest part or the breadiest part of the loaf, or just something funny and kind of silly,
making it extra bread, free, you know what I mean? Like extra, the breadiest bread to ever bread, something like you were saying. That's
something
fun.
in that world. You know what's something funny? Okay, I just had a really weird idea. Hold on, let me just say it out loud. Hold on. Do you have any other thoughts with this? Because I'm about to take it into a really weird direction.
If I do, they'll come back.
Okay. I just thought of the word. I don't know where my head just went that I thought of this, but the term fool's gold, like, because I thought, okay, this is how I got there. I was thinking they thought we were fools for liking the ends of the bread. And then I was like, is a fun name like fool's gold? Because it's like, we're saying this is like the best part of the bread, but we're almost foolish for thinking that. Like, is that kind of a fun?
Fool's gold is really
like
fun. That's nice.
Name.
That's really nice.
Like kind of something funny there. Like fools. I don't know. I don't have much else to do with that, but I just thought it was a funny idea of like acting like this is like, I know that I know what the meaning of fool's gold is, but it's funny to think of it as like, oh, this is the best. This is the best, actually the best part.
Okay. That makes me think that a tagline for fool's gold would be one man's trash is another man's dinner, or like, you know, like instead of pleasure, or like another man's something like,
the spoils, or something about the spoils. We're rich.
Like it's not the end, it's bread. The beginning. Our ends are just the beginning. Or like our ends are the beginning of the best sandwich, or like that feels like an ad campaign.
Yeah. Hold on, Lyndsay. That almost takes it back to the literary motif. We didn't really play that, but like surprise ending, like a surprise ending is a funny idea. Hold on. What you just said? Our endings are the best.
Like our ending. Our ends are the best. What did I just say?
The best.
Our ends are just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Because like whatever you want to make, like that feels like it'd be a billboard, and then it would just show like really yummy toast or a triple decker sandwich, like you seem to make.
Yeah.
your high-rise apartment sandwich. You guys throw it in the middle.
I have a very vivid. I don't know. I may have told this story on the show before, maybe not. I have a very, very vivid memory of we were in junior high. It was me and my best friend Laura. And we were in the kitchen and we were pretending to have a cooking show, and we were making a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we were narrating it as if we were like a kind of a cooking show. Like we're doing a demo.
Chefs,
And she's going, I remember her going like, ooh, 2 swipes of jelly? And we're going, 2 swipes of jelly. Going, and we're going to add another layer of bread. Yes. Are you sure?
Yes. The camera zooms.
Yeah. And it's like we were doing this
one more layer of bread.
Laugh so hard. It was like kind of one of the first times I remember doing like a bit. Yeah. It was very silly. Anyway.
So cute. The good old days when you were probably recording it on a huge camcorder on a VHS.
For sure. Yes. In the comments, 2 really good ideas. Fairy tale is a fun. Fairy tale is good because it could be like the tail of the bread. Fairy tale. Hold on. That's interesting to call it like oh, fairy tales, like, and giving it a new name, almost like these are fairy tales. We call the ends of bread fairy tales.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
cute.
fun.
Like, because I think you could go like, it's magic if you can see it. Like some sort of thing of like, look at bread a different way. Like reimagine this loaf.
The magic is in the making. The magic. Yeah.
The
There's
magic
extra magic at the end.
happens.
Like the best part is at the end, or
Yeah.
hold on. The ending is the best part. Like a fairy tale, like the ending is the best part.
Oh yeah. Happy ends.
Yeah.
If
That works.
we called the whole thing happy ends and
Yeah.
then we like jokingly referred to the actual thing as fairy tales. Yeah. I like also, Laura said also upper crust.
Upper crust is
Playing
fun.
with calling the heel like all crust is like very funny because it's all like the shell, the outer, like extra crust, please. Like crust on. Like, you know how people like take the crust off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Krusty's a funny, not that this is the most appealing branding, but calling it crusty and like, and being like a little subversive with that language and doing something funny. Like you have like almost like a little weird loaf of bread as the character, not to get into mascots, but like calling it crusties or crusty.
Grouchy.
And you kind of have like a grouchy brand is funny.
Crusty.
Like
like
they said this was the worst part. That kind of has an Oscar the Grouch feel. I like that energy is good.
I love that energy. Is that SpongeBob restaurant Krusty's? Krusty Bird? What's that?
Krab. The Krusty Krab.
Yeah. Okay, but that like energy of like him coming out and being like, I'm the worst. Like little eyes coming out of a loaf bag or something and be like proudly the worst part of the bread or like the worst best part of the bread. Worst best. That's funny. The worst best part of the bread, like depending on how you slice it. Oh, this is what we said when we came up with it last night. We said the best thing since sliced bread. That's what these are. The ends are the best thing since sliced bread. Or the second best thing. Line. That's funny. The second best thing since sliced bread. I don't know. One of those is great.
I almost like the second or the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know.
It's funny
Actually,
though. It's funny. I think as is because you're going, that is sliced bread, but it's sliced bread end. I don't know.
It's funny. But I love the idea of like a grouchy brand voice. Grumpy, grouchy, like
crusty.
You were against really us, and like we've always been. I don't know. There's something funny about like owning the kind of surprising choice that someone would want to buy. It just ends.
You know, it'd be funny too if the mascot or the voice was antagonistic towards the consumer, like oh, you like us now, you know, like a funny like you like used to throw us out, and now we're your number one.
That would be funny to talk directly to the consumer, like to go, I recognize you from the like you try to
like
throw me out
like
look who's
back. Now you like me that I'm famous, like we call them like clout chasers. Is there anything funny with like like crust chasers? You're like,
that's so funny. Me. Oh, you like me now that I'm famous. That's that's a funny line. That's a funny phrase.
Yeah,
from like personified from a character. That's like a stupid.
Oh, now that I'm on the shelf, you like me? Oh, like we went to high school together. On Instagram, Vision and Heart is saying two things that I think are funny. Crust or bust. That's a fun little like slogan. And then the best is last. That feels like a fun plan, but like save the best for last. But like the best is last. Like we come at the end.
Good. The best is last. Save the best for last. That's good. That's a fun idea.
Save the best for first. I'm like trying to be like save the last slice. Anyway, the best is last, I think is really nice.
Hold on, what was the other thing she said about
crust or bust?
Crust or bust. Yeah, I love little call outs like that on packages when they're like, and they have the exclamation mark, crust or bust. You know, it's like such a silly little phrase. Okay, I have another weird idea. You know how they sometimes say corgi? Hold on, I'm gonna fuck this up. Like a corgi butt looks like
a loaf,
like a little loaf.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like puppy is calling it like puppy butt. Is that like a weird name?
Oh, I see what you mean.
But like, I don't know if that's
corgi, even corgi crust or something like that. Like corgis or like
puppy butt. Like,
is it like like things that resemble a loaf?
A loaf, and then because I think it's a funny if there's so much discrepancy of like we call it a bread heel, a bread butt, a bread end. My family calls it a skudka. Like, is it funny to give it a new name? Like, oh, we call them puppy butts. We call them like that's the brand. It feels like
it does. I know. I'm trying to think of other things that like look like loaves that you like call a loaf. But also, like, didn't we say like what's not to loaf? That's fun. Like about like, what's not to loaf? It's just crust.
Yeah, puppy butts.
Puppy butt.
You have to have a corgi mascot, or else it would maybe make no sense. You're so reliant on this corgi. Never put more pressure.
It like has it like the whole like bag of it looks like a corgi, and there's like a tail and stuff.
Yeah,
because tails.
Tattletale. Is tattletale like anything?
Loaves.
Tattletale. What
Mm-hmm.
about? Okay, this is a weird jump. What about like Butterface as a brand name?
I love it because what did we suggest Butterface for the something else? Oh, it was one of the this always gets me.
It was our skincare brand that we're working on.
Oh, a current client.
The product.
Imagine trying to pitch a client Butterface. That's so funny.
Well, we looked it up and it was already trademarked in skincare, and we were so pissed.
That's right.
Because we had a funny idea. Because we're doing one of the products is butt cream, so we thought it was a funny
Butterface. Oh my gosh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, it was good.
Butterface is great for this for 1,000 reasons, but butter obviously in bread, and then that it like is ugly, but it tastes good.
Yeah.
It's pretty anti-feminist in a way, but like I like it, but I love it.
It's like taking back the narrative. Like you don't get to dictate to us what's a Butterface. A Butterface could be delicious. Hey, proud to be a Butterface.
Oh my gosh,
proudly a Butterface. Funny. Like you could really take that back and like own it fully.
Yeah,
Butterface is fun. I really don't. But you said we were ugly. Like that's an interesting angle. That's a great angle.
Yeah, like
you thought it was an insult. Like the idea of like you thought ugly was an insult. You've never tasted something so good. Like you could really play it in that direction.
Ugly delicious. Like
ugly delicious is a nice little phrase too.
Like
because it's just kind of weird.
Looks. Yeah. Pretty. That's fun. That's really fun. Butterface. I love that one. I have a random let me check the time. 7 minutes. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we got time.
Thinking about how you actually are not supposed to serve ducks bread, right? Like people bring old loaves and like crust, like, and it's actually really bad for them. Our park has signs up, and I often look at them and think you guys need to make these funnier and bigger because it's like what to feed us, and you need to like really tell people like we cannot have bread, we hate bread. And so in the same way that Chick-fil-A launched with cows putting up billboards like please eat Chick-fil-A, like, don't eat burgers, eat the chicken. Ducks could be really promoting these bread loaves because when you're at the end of a loaf, people will be like, oh, we'll bring this to feed the ducks, and the ducks don't want it, so they're like, look for you, like we made like duck made, I don't know, ducked up bread, like, and you know how like maybe it's just visual, but you know how when ducks like tuck their heads in, they could sort of look like a loaf, or it could just be all them underwater with their little butts up and it's bread butts. And we just use the duck symbolism of like, feed yourself. Maybe it's more of a campaign, but I just thought it was so funny.
Feed yourself, not like, us.
Yeah. Ducks being like, hey, and we could partner with a wildlife association or a parks department and sort of be like, buy this for yourself and stop. I don't know. I just thought
it's a real funny idea. Ducks hate us. Ducks actually hate us. I'm trying to think of like what's a funny.
Well, like
back into it.
Ducks want you to eat this. Like ducks want you to have
ducks
this.
Are
like, this is
ducks
for
are
you.
begging
Ducks
you to eat
made this for ducks, like ducks made by ducks. Ducks package this up for you.
Duck bread. I mean, you could even do something like duck bread, like duck butt. You can just have a simple name and then have a funny angle.
What were other bread?
Ducktail. You could do like ducktail. Ducktail.
Oh, that's cute.
I mean, trademarked by Disney.
Woo!
You'll be in court. You'll be in court for years. You'll lose your life savings, but it's worth it to create this brand.
In Scotland, they call it the Outsider. That's a fun brand.
That's a great brand.
Like the loner, I don't know, like outsider. That's outside. The outside.
Wait, the brand? Good. That's not a brand name. That's just like
that's just nomenclature. What they call it. I mean, it might be a brand. I don't think anyone's sold a whole bag of just ends.
The Outsider. it's really good.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta look up I want
Loner.
to see outsider.
There's the topper.
See if any other names.
The knobby or the knob, common in various parts of the UK.
Okay.
The end piece.
The idea of an outsider, social exclusion, someone who operates outside like a tight-knit community, trying to break into your sandwich. Hold on, there's an idea of like breaking into your sandwich group or your sandwich circle or your
oh my gosh.
Like
Yeah.
like feels
Breadcrumbs.
different. It's someone that feels different, tastes the same or tastes better. Oh, I like
the outside looking
outsider. I
in,
love that energy.
eating
That's
on the
good.
outside, eating in, eating out, eating
yeah.
out. Let's eat out. Let's eat out tonight. That'd be a fun big
That's
billboard.
fun.
And then it's just like the ends of breads turn into something else. Okay, wait. Now I'm cooking with gas. There's another one. So some people call it bits. And I was like, bread bits would be a fun name for the ends. It's just like a bag of bread bits. And then someone said they made this up to call their kids. They called it the lucky part in order to convince them to eat it, that the end was the lucky part. Lucky Parts, the Lucky Part. That's a great brand name.
Lucky Parts is a good Lucky Part. That's a good brand name. That is Lucky Parts.
It's good. Bread butts, 2 butts.
Wait,
you could also add a number. That's right. 2 butts. That's funny. 2 butts, and it's just like the number 2 but I guess they're getting a bunch of them. Bunch of butts. BUNCHA.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was you say your idea, but then I want to know how you're picturing it. Because you know how you can buy like obviously like dried bread crust to like make stuffing or whatever. Like that is already prepackaged in like sort of a bag. I'm picturing still a loaf, but it's just all of them filed in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm picturing it looks like a loaf, but it just all ends. Lucky Parts, I really like that. I think that's a really good name. That's a great name just for a brand in general. Lucky Parts.
That's cute. Like there's so much fun folklore, like making it up as though, and we don't, we're not getting into this. Maybe I'll save it for Funded or Done-ded, but I do think if you could find a way, I think the like impetus or like the inception of this idea was like chip dust or hot dog water, like things that are already typically thrown away. And we're like making that the entire hero. I think it's just like an interesting thing to do. Like I would love to know, but I guess people don't throw away the heel. I mean, the people who make the loaves aren't throwing away the heels. The people who buy them maybe are not using them. So I was trying to think of a way to like make it cost effective where like we're going to all these bakeries and they don't eat their heels and we're bagging them up.
Yeah, I guess like if this was your brand, you could theoretically you could sell loaves without heels.
Yeah, totally. And you'd be like a heelless.
Because it's like kind of like the idea of like crustables, I guess, or whatever.
Uncrustables. Oh, and then we can come out with crustables instead of uncrustables. Ours are made with the whole.
Yeah. That's right. It's called uncrustables. I'm really caught at Lucky Parts for some reason. I'm like really enjoying that.
I'm still caught on Butterface. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, Butterface is good too.
Daily bread.
You know what I love the energy. Sorry, not to belabor Lucky Parts, but I love the energy of like a Lucky Charms feeling of like all the iconography, all the fun. Just it can feel magical. I love the idea of building a brand that has like such a distinct visual identity, or like it feels so magical. So like you were saying, you could bring in really funny lore. You could create an entire land or entire world where it's like they grow the bread and or harvest the bread and it's only butts, or like you could just come up with so many fun, really fun narrative around that.
Okay, speaking of the lucky part and the fact that person came up with that to help their kids eat it, could we also, not in a manipulative way, just in a this is business way, market it as though like that's more nutritionally dense? Because it probably is, like some of the seeds and whatever, so that we sell that in that, like that's a benefit of it. Like you're buying the ends because they're like better for you or something. Butter for you, better. And like, forget the lucky part. Odds and ends.
Odds and ends is that's a good name. Odds
or
and
just
ends.
Odds. And like the ends is implied and we just call them odds. I don't know.
There's something fun there.
Timer.
Okay, hold on. Who cares? Odds and ends. That you could have kind of odds and ends. Yeah, there's so many ways you could take that. Like odds, when you say odds, you could have kind of like a gambling motif, but you could have some kind of fun visual styling that kind of has that feel to it. Odds. It could just be kind of weird and offbeat. Junk drawer-esque, you know, kind of that feel to it. I also was thinking, you said dense. Like, dense is kind of a funny word. I don't know if that's the right brand name, but dense is just funny.
And have someone just be really
dense.
Dense,
That might be tough. We did pitch
That's
a really
funny.
fun name for a product that recently that had like that feel to it. She chose a different one, but Hardy. I was thinking like Hardy, party girl, Hardy girl, Hardy. Because like dense. I don't know if that's the same. Hardy and dense don't maybe feel the same.
Yeah. Thick. That's funny. Like it's thicker.
That's so weird. I was just thinking that word.
Okay, I'm still stuck on. I want to explore that too. But I'm still really stuck on the outsiders and like things around that. Like
I love that
leftover. Blah blah blah. Like really capitalizing on the fact that this is the part that most people don't like. Like really leaning into the polarization of like, oh, you're somebody who loves those. Yeah. And a word that came to me was overkill. And obviously you don't like the word kill, but like something about like overbred, overboard. I don't know. The idea of the like scraps or like bits and pieces, the like relic. I don't know, like odds and it. Like I just think that's fun.
I like that energy a ton
because you're like, oh, we're saving this on purpose.
Is there? You could. I mean, hold on. I have one other random idea. You just said saving. Okay. Name something like this is dumb. Super butts or something. And then like a tagline is like, you try to throw them away, we came in and saved the day. Like some sort of like superhero-ish vibe. Super butt is like a funny name, kind of. I like right now we've been talking about this. Like I have an obsession with adding the word super to something. For some reason, I know like that.
It's because we've also tried a couple of different
like that name structure right now. But super butt is kind of just a funny. It's kind of funny, just the name.
And that actually, this is why it's going to be good for us to move on to Mascot after this. Is that encapsulates the like selling point of it's more nutritionally dense. It's a super butt. This is like the best part of the bread. Save the best is last. There's vision and hearts. Super butts. I mean, that doesn't exactly go, but in the marketing idea of it.
In that idea,
But I guess we would go save the bet. We saved the best, and it turns out it was the last. Just trying to like, there's save and save with super.
We saved the last for best. I don't know. There's something there.
I know.
You tried to throw them away. You could also have like I mean, not to get too deep into lore, but you could have like a nemesis. Like you could have the hero. I picture it. Sorry, should we get into Mascot O'Clock?
Maybe, but Scott just said Scrappy, and I love that.
That's a good name too.
It's really good. And like it has like a good energy. But yes, let's go in because half of these make good mascot names and mascot characters. It's Scrappy, it's Crusty, it's whoever.
Loaf,
Super butt. He's just a little guy that
kind of a loaf, but like a loaf on the couch. There could be something.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me play Mascot O'Clock, or else.
Yeah. We'll never get there.
I don't know if I'll be adequately prepared. This is fun. God, there's a lot of really good angles to this one. Okay.
So glad we chose.
Ready?
Mascot O'Clock.
Okay. Super butt mascot. You had to play it before I said it. Play it before you say it. It's the tagline for Mascot O'Clock. We just have taglines for every section of this brainstorm. I think what's so funny is like just picturing like a kind of a lumpy rectangular loaf with like a little superhero eye mask and a cape and like kind of a hand just like here to save the day. And he has like, I picture him having just a loaf body and just like kind of stick legs and stick arms sort of like he's very simply hand drawn and kind of just silly and dopey. I think he'd be so cute.
I picture a little stick figure person and their cape is a bread butt.
Oh, okay.
The like heel is actually his superpowers are in his.
Okay, hold on. Speaking of turning that like the heel into something, it could almost be like a surfboard. Like, can you picture like, like I love the idea of like how many ways you could use it. Like, you could surf on it. you could, I can't think of anything else.
I can.
Okay.
The Outsiders, like it's like an alien spaceship at the top, and it's like super butts. It's like, I don't know, like, or even just the cape of it, but I just pictured it like a UFO.
UFO kind of. Okay. This has nothing to do with anything we've pitched, but it could be a sail in a sailboat.
Oh,
It could be bread.
I mean, if that heel is all over the place, I love that. I just was looking up like bread words, and one of them that like the basic ingredients are like grains, core elements, and agents, like yeast and sourdough, like the things that like activate it. An agent feels like in the super butt world.
That's really cute. Okay, I have another name idea. Heel turn.
Heel turn.
Like
is that a dance thing?
Heel turn.
Oh no, that's when you change your mind, right?
Like change your mind. Like a heel turn.
About face.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like it's used a lot. Not negatively or I guess it could be either way, when like almost like a villain becomes a hero or a hero becomes a villain. It's a heel turn.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
plot, almost like a plot twist, sort of.
Yeah. Okay, that heel digging in also as part of our about story, like we dug in our heels and made the best part of the bread the only part of the bread. The best part is the only part. That's a fun thing.
That's
part,
great.
Slice. I feel like we never even got into like knife and slice and like knead, KNEAD.
Yeah. Heel. Sorry, I'm caught in heel turn right now because I'm thinking like it could be. The funny thing about that is like we've thought of it as
pivot. Okay.
We've thought of it as a villain of the bread, and it actually turned out to be the good guy. It's like, think of like the great characters in like Snape, or like, not to spoiler alert, he was actually a good guy all along, right? Like there's something
the anti-hero a little bit.
Yeah. Loki from Marvel like has a heel turn, like it's these characters that you end up rooting for.
That sort of goes back to happy ends too.
Yeah,
which I like.
A lot of these could work together in interesting ways. Like they're like there's like narrative threads you could weave. Okay, sorry, I just got excited about that.
Yeah, we were like, I think trying to come up with a mascot, but we never even got into like bakers, but I think the duck, the corgi, the like the heel actually turning into things either for a character or like inanimate objects, the smile, the surfing board. What else would be a funny visual gag?
Yeah, I just keep picturing this loaf. I wish we have tried so hard. Like when there is a vision in our head, it's like, I wish I had the artistic skill set to bring it to life. Because I would love to sketch it right now and go like this guy. And I cannot do that.
Allie, that's a perfect tee up. We finally talked our designer into joining the show once a month. And he is going to design some of our favorite things. And we don't know what he's doing. So in true nature to the show, once a month, we are going to have a reveal episode where our designer explains what he did. He's going to listen to the episode and draw while he listens and then show the stuff. So I'm
really excited. Oh my God. He's so good at just taking wacky ideas and making them just like realizing them in the most absurd, silly, just gorgeous way. So I cannot wait. Oh my God.
I guess they're not really crumbs, but like crummy, when something you saying is bad, but it's like good. Like crummy could be the name of a guy, or it could be like proudly crummy. Cause like maybe you think about that as the end.
Crummy is a cute CRUMMY as opposed to like crumby
with
like
a B. Yeah.
Crumb is crummy. That reminds me. Go ahead.
You go.
No,
mine's
mine is such a veer. It has nothing to do. I was going to tell an anecdote about a family dog name.
Of course.
I was going to say, now I just so stupid.
No, everybody, hold on. Allie has a really important anecdote.
Hey guys, this is a story I was going to tell. I was practicing.
Okay, get ready to clap.
I was practicing before the show.
Hey,
we used to have a family. We had this family dog.
No, say it different
like that.
Did you have dogs?
Like the family.
You guys like dogs? I had a family dog.
I had a family dog.
All these ways in.
I'm practicing the underfoot. I blew it. We used to have a family dog named so stupid now. Chumley, his name was. And we used to call him Chum, and that reminded me of Crumb. That was it. That was the whole story.
No, that was important.
That's
going to be the featured clip just every single day next week. I was going to say something equally critical is a party sub. You know, I want to bring a party sub
Oh my
back
God.
into culture. Could you make a 2 huge loaf or not loaf? What am I saying? Bread butts. And maybe like the whole thing is a party sub. When you eat the ends of the bread, every sandwich is a party sub.
Okay.
Party. Didn't we say party earlier? Hardy party. You said that.
Party girl. Party boy. Party boy sounds fun too.
Surprise Hardy.
Party. Lyndsay, we
Surprise,
should brand.
It's the end.
Lyndsay, we should do Can They Brand It for a party sub?
Oh, wow.
I don't really know. I just think it would be fun to do. I think there's so much we could do with it.
Yeah. Like what we need now more than ever is a community. And so we have to start eating sandwiches together, huge sandwiches that take a whole team of people. Everyone wants a village. No one wants to be a villager. Party sub.
Party sub. Don't blow your load in this episode.
Sorry, I think about party subs all the time.
They're so good. Growing up, there was this back in Detroit. There's like a sandwich shop that's like it's like a micro chain. It's just a local chain called Buscemi's. And I used to be buddies with this kid, Paul, who his family owned it. And they were like famous for their party subs. So before we'd go to the beach, we'd pick up a party sub at Buscemi's. And oh man, talk about the centerpiece of a gathering. I mean,
nothing tastes better than a sandwich
party
on
sub
a
feels.
Beach day.
Yeah.
Nothing tastes as good as party sub feels. That just makes no sense. Laura said, heal me. That's good. And I was just trying to think the whole time you were talking about Buscemi's. I was like, sexual healing. I was like, what rhymes with sexual? Seasonal should be bread. And then it's spelled healing with double E's, but it's not good.
Confectual. I'd be like confectual healing if it was like a dessert of some sort.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we haven't even gotten into like
could have
flavors. So many types of bread, sourdough and the like wheat. Should I just start listening? Should we close it and the credits come up and I'm just still trying to list every bread flavor I know?
Bread, sourdough, rye bread, Asiago, white, pumpernickel. It's just 20. The credits roll 25 bread names deep. Man, I could keep rocking and rolling on this brainstorm. This is fun. I have a good feeling about all these.
Wow. Ones. I didn't even know. I was like, are we worried that we talk about food so much? I mean, our specialty at Semiserious is CPG products. So like, but you know, that ranges. I feel like we are drawn towards food inventions on the show. And I was like, are we going to run out of ideas? No. Tail end. There's no end to these brains. Unfortunately, there is no bread butt.
These bread
the loaf of this brain is just continuous party sub of brain.
Lyndsay, someone just put in the chat a phrase. I have to read it out loud because it almost makes no sense to me.
Go.
And you go, babe, I've had it. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Laura just said, P.S. Lyndsay, you have to get a K-dub on Dutch Crunch. From Fat Belly Pretzel Deli on Gallatin. Like it almost feels like it's like a secret language.
It's like actually code for like she's investing in the company. And yeah. Yeah, Gallatin. That's a sandwich on a type of pretzel bread at a place called Fat Belly on a street in Nashville.
Okay.
So
I deduce that, but to the layman.
Contextually, to the layman, that's the craziest thing.
Makes no sense.
You got to try the party sub at Shalaki's. Wait, what was your party sub place?
Buscemi's.
Buscemi's, cute.
Yeah.
And will you spell for everybody before we close? Well, we'll go do Fun-ded and Done-ded.
Yeah.
We're just having too much fun.
It's actually Buscemi's. It's like Steve Buscemi, but everyone called it Buscemi's. I don't know why.
Oh, Buscemi's. I see.
Yeah.
I wanted you to spell the word that you grew up calling the bread heel. Because maybe we could just name the brand that. That'd be fun.
Okay, so we called it.
What'd you call it?
Goodka. And I don't really know how it's spelled, but I would say Skoodka. Like if I made it the most silly way to spell it, Skoodka or some Goodka. I don't really know how. My grandmother spoke, like, not to brag, but like my grandmother spoke Italian, Polish, Russian, and English. And so I wonder if it was like maybe Russian or Polish, or it was like a slang. I don't really know.
It's got to be some slang. It's not coming up.
Feels like some slang
Google.
Of like an Eastern European country or something.
That's so special. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what we call it. Okay, Fun-ded or Done-ded?
Yeah. Do Fun-ded. Do Done-ded.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the heat. Put the full court press on.
Put the oven. Crank the oven up.
Gareth.
That's the last jingle. So essentially it is the bread heel of the show. And so right now we're just like ending the loaf on a
Gareth's dangling the bread heel, knowing how much we want it right in front of our faces.
This is going to make or break this show. I don't know if this is funded.
Done-ded. Okay. Here's what I think. I think that the concept, probably not funded.
Yes. The branding, yes.
The branding could be really good around it. So I guess I would say if there was already a market for it, like if someone came to us and said, we've studied the market, people want this. This is like the next craze beyond the muffin top. I think our branding would take it to the next level. I really think one of these ideas we could flesh out to be really good. I think there is a market or even like a cost-effective approach to creating just bread heels? No. Done-ded.
Not necessarily. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like I don't even need to say it. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the tagline that blew my mind that I met, like the Mandela effect of it was nobody does it like Sarah Lee. And remember we've discussed nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. Like, so double negative. Nobody does not like Sarah Lee. Anyway, that bakery, I was just thinking maybe they got a bunch of loaves flying around.
Sarah,
call us. Want to have a party loaf.
Boy.
I could have talked about that for a long time.
Lyndsay, I feel like I have more bread heel discussion in me. Like I almost want to keep going after this brainstorm.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just the tip of the loaf.
Get to grains. Yeah. This is flour. Oh God.
Well, like I had another idea, like breadhead, deadhead. And then like that, having kind of a we've already done psychedelic, but like, could it be like more floral? I don't really know, but like visually it could be a really beautiful package of bread. I don't know. There's
breadwinner.
Oh, that's so fun. Really good one.
Because it's like, this is actually the best piece. Number one bun. The breadwinner of like, I love that word.
Your first choice or like, hold on. That is first breadwinner bringing home the,
not your first choice. Oh, that's
okay.
Nice.
Hold on. We're budding breads right now.
Budding bread butts. I was thinking there's something like the first place for your last choice, or like there's a first and like it's like
Okay, because you could take breadwinner like winner, just like idea of a winner, or breadwinner like the person who provides.
Yeah.
Even though that's
bread,
like
that old,
like breadwinner, like the bringing home the.
I think the only way to play it would just be focusing on winner.
Yeah, the winner part.
Because you're just sort of like, it's just like, this is the breadwinner, like the loaf, like repositioning the heel as the end. But the ends justify the means. The ends are the means. That's for your thing of breadwinner. The ends are the means. They don't justify it.
The ends justify
the only way out is through.
Like my mom always says, the end justifies me.
Okay.
Breadwinner.
Because bread is so fun with like obviously money and dough. Number one.
You could go in a really breadwinner. You could go in a real fun, like from a visual perspective, like I'm picturing like big dollar sign, like kind of a funny big dollar sign, like really over the top idea of like money dough, like that idea is absurd.
I was gonna just like try to think we were saying the same thing and we weren't at all. I was like a briefcase made out of a loaf, like a handle on top of a briefcase, or a handle on top of a loaf, and that is a business person in a suit, and that's the whole like visual breadwinner,
and that's the package, or that's like the. That's
I didn't think of that. I was just saying like the image of a person in a suit, and instead of a bread case, there's a handle on top of a long loaf.
Okay,
we're going to work. We worked the ends, like so the ends meet our ends. Anyway, whatever it is. But you could also totally do it that way.
Okay, because you know how you open a loaf from the end, right? What if you opened it from like a seal on the top and it looked like, cucumbers sometimes come in a bag that have like a handle at the top.
Oh, yeah.
So what if it was like that? So it looked like a suitcase almost. Like it looked like a briefcase or a briefcase. Yeah.
And then we can say the business end of a loaf. Look inside the business end of this loaf. Right? Is that the phrase? Yeah.
Yeah. Something. Is that the phrase? It is not, baby.
Is that the phrase? No, babe.
No, babe,
Nothing you guys
it's
have
not
said
the
on the
phrase.
show has ever been the phrase.
Wait, Laura just said making ends meet. Hold on. That's a good phrase for this.
That's great.
This is how we make ends meet. Briefcase.
Oh, right. Because
breadwinner.
don't meet our ends, make the ends. We made the ends meet. Wow. Join us in making ends meet. Wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad we hung on there. We had more in our system. We're about to leave that on the table.
The business end of a loaf. That's what it would be.
It's so funny. Okay. This is great. Thank you, everyone, for playing along.
Plug. Yes, everybody's so funny and so creative. Go see our real work at semiseriousAgency.com soon. I mean, there's lots of real work up there, but our newest stuff we're adding as we speak. We will be back next week. That was so fun.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends to join. Do you have creative people? Yeah, that's it. That was so fun.
Yay. That was great.
Delicious. Okay.
Until next week.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Let me turn this off.